Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and my guest today is the author of the upcoming book, Horror in Haddonfield, The Untold Stories of Halloween. I'm so excited to welcome Andrew Grevas. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. I am very excited for your book. Can't wait
Thank
to
you.
talk all about it. But for people who aren't aware yet, would you mind just talking a little bit about what your book is?
Yeah, so it's a very large look at all 13 Halloween films. It's mostly cast and crew interviews. There are some essays from me in there, and then a few surprises too.
Ah, that is awesome. That sounds like right up my alley. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Thank
What
you.
makes Halloween, the franchise, so special to you?
The original Halloween is a perfect film, in my opinion. I don't think it gets much better than that. There are a few other films that kind of occupy that same space in terms of like the best horror films of all time. But for me, it's really what started my love of horror. It's what started my love of film in a lot of ways, watching that at a pivotal age and just like being completely captivated by it.
Do you remember the very first time you saw it?
I do. I was a little young. I think I was 8 years old, and it was on TV. I was with my cousin, and I was just like, "Whoa, what are we watching?" We knew we shouldn't be watching it, but we did anyway, like kids do. And I was just totally enthralled with it, and started a lifelong love of horror.
I think the very, very first time I ever saw it, it was also on TV. They were having like an all weekend long marathon of all of them, and
Hmm.
I was hooked like
Yeah.
instantly. I don't know if I started with the first one or if I just happened to catch whatever film they were on and then just kept going for the rest of the weekend. But what a great film, and it
It
holds
is.
up.
It's fun to hear where people jumped in on the franchise because a lot of people who are authors, critics, podcasters today, who we kind of view as like authorities in the horror genre, they might have started on Halloween 3 or they might have started on Halloween 5. That comes up a few times in the book, and I found that to be interesting. Even people who went on to write some of the later films tell me those kind of stories.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's fascinating. Have you had a chance to go and visit the Myers house and the Strode house and the Hedge?
I personally have not, but my dear friend Ivan did. I'm in Cincinnati. My friend Ivan travels around to different filming locations, and when I told him I was doing this book, he's like, "Can I send you a Dropbox folder with a ton of pictures?" And I said, "Please and thank you." And Ivan is the best. I cannot thank him enough, and his work is all throughout horror in Haddonfield. He's a gem.
That is so cool. Yeah, I luckily live about a 10-minute drive away from all the filming locations. So I make it a point to go every October just to see all the other people that are there and taking pictures and all that stuff. But then because I'm so close, every once in a while we'll take our dog there for a little walk and just get to take it all in because it's so cool. It's so close to us.
I need to get out there.
Yeah,
I need to.
it's so cool. And the Myers house right next to it is Sugarman Gallery, and they play the film like in the back on a projector, and they have like I think props and costumes from the film. It's such a cool experience. I haven't done that yet, but I've heard about it and I've seen pictures of it, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get on that.
Yeah, I need to go. Maybe I'll see you out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So you mentioned some of the research you did, interviews and stuff like that, but what else went into crafting this book?
A lot of late nights watching all 13 films over and over and over. And it's kind of become a joke with some of my friends how many nights I would watch the same film in a row. And I like to say that Halloween Resurrection, which a lot of Halloween fans, it's not their favorite. I understand that. I watched that 4 nights in a row, and I was writing that chapter, and I was just trying to like get in that place where I could really analyze it and give it its due justice. In the fourth night, I had this breakthrough. I was like, I get what they're trying to do. And it was the same with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I had to watch that one 5 times in a row, and I had this breakthrough. I was like, now I understand. Because prior to working on the book, I was somewhat critical of that film, but I kept watching it. And I just had this aha moment where I was like, okay, I understand now. But there was a lot of watching the films, a lot of obviously the cast and crew interviews were the biggest part of the book. There's over 25 of those, but just talking to various people that work in the genre, podcasters, authors, you name it. Sean Clark, everybody knows Sean Clark, the legendary promoter and things like that, and he's constantly got the cast and crew everywhere at all these conventions all over the country. I sat on the phone with him for probably 2 hours one night, so just picking his brain, and a lot of that shows up in the book too.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you able to talk a little bit about some of the other people you interviewed?
Yeah, so the list is out there. I'll
Okay.
say that if you follow me on social media, in my pinned post, I have links to all that. But Daniel ha Harris, Scout's in there, Dwight Little, Alan McElroy, Dominique, the director of Halloween 5, Tom Atkins, Stacey Nelkin. I mean, there's just so many amazing cast and crew members that are in this book, and as a horror fan, it just makes me extremely grateful that these people made time to talk to me.
Oh, that is so cool. What is one thing that you learned while writing this book that really stood out to you that you didn't know before you started?
Ooh, that is a really tough question. I Dan Farrens, who wrote Halloween 6, I had already considered a friend, but when I sat down to talk to him and I learned about the lengths of research that he put in to trying to create the backstory and to really tie some of the mythology together that have been created in the previous Halloween films, I gained a whole new level of appreciation for him and just how much work and time and effort he put into really trying to make Halloween this cohesive story. And we get into the drama with the Weinsteins and things like that that kind of took his movie off path in the book. But as far as Dan goes, I already respected him a lot, but that respect just went through the roof after talking to him for the book. There's other things, but that came to mind. I think people are really going to enjoy that particular interview, though.
Mm. Oh, I can't wait to read it. Um, I was also very curious. We, a couple years ago, I don't know how many years ago at this point, a few years ago, I'll say, just wrapped up the franchise with Halloween Ends.
hmm
What do you hope happens next for Michael Myers? Do you hope we wait a few years and we do a reboot? Do you hope we get Jamie Lee Curtis, even though she's supposedly done, to come back? What do you hope happens next?
This question kind of plagues me because on one hand, like I just finished this 2 year long odyssey trying to create a book that encapsulated the whole franchise, and there's part of me that's like, just let it be for a few years, take a breather. But on the other hand, Halloween for every generation. And you can go back to the people who were children in the 70s when the first film came out. Like we all have such an emotional attachment to Halloween and to Haddonfield, and it's part of our culture. We watch these films and maybe you grew up with Jamie Lee Curtis, maybe you grew up with Danielle Harris, maybe H2O or even Rob Zombie was your coming of age. But it's for all of us. It's a part of all of us. So I do, as a fan, want the series to continue. I would like to see somebody pick up where Blumhouse left off, but that won't happen. Halloween has told us that it's a choose your own adventure story. You can just kind of pop in and pick up wherever you'd like, and there's a beauty in that too for the filmmakers. You're not restricted by what came before you. You can reboot or jump right in. So personally, I would like to see somebody kind of pick up from ends just because I think that would be cool, but I'm not betting on it either.
You know what I was thinking would be really cool for the Halloween franchise? If they did like an R-rated anime version of it. I just think that would
Mm.
look so cool and something we haven't gotten yet from the franchise. Just to like pull this off until they decide what they're going to do next in live action with the characters.
Sign me up.
I would
I'm
love
there
that.
for it.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know your book is currently available for pre-order. Where is a good
Mhm.
place for people to go and pre-order it?
You can pre-order it on my publisher's website. Again, those links are on my social media profiles and also Amazon. A lot of times it's easier, especially for those outside of the United States. Shipping's a lot cheaper on Amazon.
And in the meantime, where's a good place for people to come and follow you on social media and keep up with everything?
Bluesky, I just recently got back on X, but I'm not super active there. Bluesky is probably the app that I'm most active on, though.
All right, cool. I'll make sure to put links in the description of this video. But Andrew, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to join me, and I can't wait to read your book.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.